My name is Victoria Iwerika from Lagos, Nigeria.
So my name is Nanza Margaret Olopo.
My name is Cindy Ihwamadweny.
Hi, my name is Jalason Onuga.
Before I went into business, I worked as a graphic designer at Alpha Systems, Port Harcourt. And when I got married, I moved to Lagos to join my husband, and I worked with Sierra Leone High Commission for a period of time as a PA to the High Commissioner.
I started my work career kind of in British Council, where I worked as a customer service officer, and then from there I went on and did my professional qualification in HR, and now became a HR professional, so to speak. So I joined XDS Credit Bureau and worked as a HR manager.
I have some experience with the National Economic Reconstruction Fund. I have legal experience. I currently work for government, essentially. I'm a legal officer.
I did digital media marketing, so trading of ads, buying and selling of ads online.
A lawyer, talent manager, events manager, and also an energy consultant.
I am in the business of cloth making. I make clothes basically for women. I've always loved to make clothes. I've always loved to wear clothes. And after my marriage, I went to Singa to learn how to make clothes. It's the desire I have for good clothes. The hunger I had was what inspired my passion for cloth making.
My business is a handmade glitter and shimmer cosmetics line. All my products are vegan friendly and cruelty free. I currently make body shimmers. You have to shake before you use it. And lip kits, which are on sale now. I started off with eyeshadow glitters, and so what inspired it was personal problems I found with my makeup. I was using loose glitters on my eyes, and I found they were falling on my face, falling in my eyes, and then I researched on how to make your own pressed eyeshadow glitters, and that's pretty much how it started, because I made mine, my friends would see it and say they like it and ask if I could make for them, and I did, and started capitalizing off that.
So I started cooking, started making small things for small parties, and then from there it grew, and from one staff to two. After a while I had like 10 staff working for me, and I said I do therapy, I do counseling I've specialized also again in youth counseling. So I did a special course again in youth counseling and trauma counseling. So I work with youth, drug abuse, sex and all that. And then I general counseling too. And then what I've now been able to do now is that I've been able to fuse the cooking and the therapy together. So I do what I call cooking therapy, and so people come because sometimes I have like 14, 13-year-olds, maybe trouble and maybe going through a bit of adolescent challenges, and you bring them in. They don't want to just sit on a chair and listen to you for 2 hours. So what we do is that I set up a cooking class, and then during those cooking classes, I now turn it into like a therapy, and I ask questions. And so after 3 hours, you find out that you've gotten a lot out of the young person and all that.
The major challenge in this industry, as in most other production industries, is electricity. We don't have electricity as often as we should, and that takes you to the point of running generator. And now you have the problem of high cost of fuel or diesel, and then the issue of your generator breaking down and all that. And then the next challenge we have is skilled manpower. The artisans we work with are usually not properly trained. So if you spend time training yours, which is what I do, if you're not careful, another person poaches your workers from you, and then you have to start all over again. The next other challenge we have is in business, especially women, is the inability to access loans or support from any means. I remember at a point I was opportune to gain scholarship from Goldman Sachs International, and that made me one of the 1,000 women that gained that scholarship. And I know the extent that scholarship went for me. So if things like that can be made available to women in business, it will go a very long way.
Mainly promotion and brand visibility, because there are so many other brands that are doing similar products. So yeah, mainly pushing my brand out there, making it stand out. And also it's time consuming because I literally hand make these products by myself. But that's a challenge I'd rather have, because it makes sure each of my products are done specifically, made efficiently, and keeps a certain standard.
We've faced all sorts of challenges in this industry. I'm fully in the media and entertainment space now. And from finding funding just to kickstart any project, film project, events project, to even push your talent to as far as you want them to go, you would face financial challenges, that being the first. You also face policy challenges. There's all sorts of new tax laws now, especially in Nigeria, surrounding this space, and we could face that. And even just getting anything done in this country, from really incorporating your business and trying to progress, you would face so many obstacles and bureaucracy here and there. Also, being a woman in this space as well, you're not just a young entrepreneur. You're a woman that has to walk into rooms, walk into offices, and be taken seriously, and that in itself is also another challenge.
Okay, challenges basically funding, because at a time, when you're doing a business and you don't have much capital, you find out that, especially if it's business from home, you find out that when you make profit, it tends to go back into the house. And then sometimes by the end of the day, you find out that you're kind of burnt out because you don't really see how much money you're making. So yeah, so funding, but when there's capital, you launch out, it's a lot easier. So funding, of course, has been a bit of a problem. Mentorship, somebody who would push you and say, okay, no, you know what, do it this way, do it this way. So I've had to make all my mistakes and learn, slowly and gradually, and and all that. So basically that's it. And then of course when you don't have capital, you can't take the business out. So basically my business is at home. Sometimes it's difficult to attract the kind of people you want. If I probably had a place in Wuse 2 or Asokoro, it probably would be different. So basically that, but when you enjoy what you do, when you're passionate about what you do, you're willing to go the extra mile and go the long hauls.
Essentially, I think the government could give grants that would be sufficient enough to allow businesses grow to become self-sufficient.
Come to think of it, then the artisans we work with, there are no training schools run by government. Most of them learn by the side or shabbily trained. So if the government can set up training institutes like we have in other West African countries, like now, apart from the tailors we work with, you find out that artisans like bricklayers, like tilers, like plumbers they don't have an institute where they can go to. And if they have, they are very few.
One of the key things that I know, I mentioned that when we talked about challenges, is mentorship. I know sometimes even funding is available. Maybe you have all this, CBN is giving this small and medium scale businesses funding, but we need mentors. Sometimes you don't really understand the benefits of having mentors, but you need somebody who would kind of help you not to make the mistakes that, maybe they have made and all that. People who would coach you, people who would tell you, oh, it's okay, it's all right that you're going through this now, you would get through it. So yes, government can provide funding, make it easier for women to access maybe certain kind of loans with maybe no collaterals or stuff like that, which I know they're already doing, but then you could do better, make it more accessible. And then maybe the women themselves can create, maybe some kind of mentorship scheme or coaching scheme where you can coach other people and help other people come up, in their businesses. And then those who are doing better can string those who are still, just pull them off along and all that. So yeah.
The government's already doing quite a bit to help young entrepreneurs, creating funds and grants. But the really key obstacle to these things that they're doing is access. a lot of people don't have access to these funds. They don't have access to these grants, or they're not well oriented or educated enough to know how to even go through the right procedures and channels to get them. It's as if the system is limited to who you know or something. So if the government can create much more access and transparency in helping entrepreneurs get what they need, the required funding.
Well, I'm not particularly young. In the next 5 years, I should be thinking of retirement. But before then, I intend to grow my business to a greater extent, look for other means of sales, like other channels, make sure that the business can last longer than me, the owner. Try to establish the possibility of having someone to take over from me. And then I want to have a training school where tailors can be trained, properly trained, because I noticed that things are done shabbily in the industry. Most tailors are not properly trained.
I see Luxury Cosmetics as a brand that would be known for quality products that people would always come back to. I see myself in stores all over Nigeria, global scale as well, and not just stores around, but my own store as well, where I can physically interact with the customers and engage them on a more personal level.
I want to open a well-being center, and that well-being center I want to be able to cater to the young people, youth, so it's a place where I can actually have my cookery classes, a bigger place. I can have my cookery classes, and at the same time it will be a place where you can come for therapy, but basically it's a well-being center. So especially for those who maybe have gone through, like when I was in school, I worked in a hospital where a mental health center, where those like young people who have been through maybe drug addiction or any kind of mental health issues, and maybe they finish their time in the hospital, they come to this mental health center because you still need somebody to kind of work with you, and keep you on that positive lane. It's so easy to have a relapse. So that's what I want to kind of set up, something that I think would help people to just kind of the onward journey after maybe you've been through the very difficult period, or even if you haven't even been through that, but a place where you can come and then we can work together. So basically, I still plan to continue doing my cooking and my therapy, but then set up the well-being center, and then that I can do until I'm 70, 75.
In the next 5 years, I hope to create the biggest content creation hub out of the FCT, from infrastructure and a big facility to create content, to actually churning out the best events and the best talent that anyone has to see from the FCT. We want to be able to show them that we can create content, from films to music videos to advertorials. We can create all of this to an international standard from here as well. We're not the commercial hub like Lagos, we're not Hollywood, but there are visionaries here. There are people who are making creative quality content from here, and in 5 years I hope to be championing that cause.